What's good, you beautiful people? This is a terrible angle of me. I'm talking really fast because I am going to try and bang out so much in like the span of 2 days because it is Tuesday now, tomorrow's Wednesday. There's a meet on Sunday that I'm trying to bring this car to, and then Thursday, Friday, it's raining, we're outside, it's cold. So if you haven't been from, sorry, I was stuttering. If you haven't been in the Northeast, like CT, Mass, New York area, you know that the beginning of spring is almost like false hope. It feels like winter, but it's sunny outside. It's kind of confusing. A lot of people get sick around this time, but now I'm babbling. So it's really cold. I'm actually going to be doing the oil pan gasket, the rod bearings. I gotta replace those because, yeah, the rod bearings. I'm going to be replacing the turbo as well. I don't know if you guys can see me. This is a very awkward angle. I'm going to be replacing the turbos as well. I will talk about the turbo later after all of that. I'm going to make like a little thingamabob on the turbo. But I'm going to replace the turbo. So the turbo is not going to be like anything super crazy. Because for like the type of driving that I do, I love like toge and stuff. I don't really need like 10,000 horsepower. I mean, I'm pretty much good with like 400 to like 450 on the type of driving that I do. I'm not really like a highway warrior in a way. I kind of like the corners and the turns and stuff like that. So you really have to really focus more on suspension, tires, and all of that stuff. Yes, you need turbo too. This car will be great in the uphill, but downhill it might need a little bit of work. If you know anything about the E82s, they are a little bit understeery. Like, you know, you can have some fun in it, but they do have a lot of understeer as well. So I'm going to try and adjust that as well. I'll probably kind of soften or just play around with the damper on this car. The suspension that's on it right now are I forgot what they're called, but they're from, I'll pretty much write it down. I'm pretty sure they're pretty much built for stance wise, but they do have a dampening system. It has camber settings and all that extra stuff like camber plates. So what I am going to do is kind of raise the car up because the car is on 10.5s with stretch tires in the rear, and there's 9.5 in the front with stretch tires as well. So I just want to get the car done before I actually do any like true, like, you know, driving and whatnot. I want to get the car done. I want to run it like, you know, just the way I do things. If I'm doing like major work to the engine or just, you know, whatever, or if it's a new car, I like to run the car for about 500 miles, change the oil, and then run it for another 1,500 miles, and then change the oil at that time. And it's very windy too, so if you can't hear me, I do apologize. I am using my phone at the moment. Change it at 1,500 miles, you know, just check the oil, check to see if there's any you know, metals or anything like that. If I messed up while doing anything, that will suck because I have to tear everything back apart again. So this portion is getting a little bit long, so I do apologize, but it is going to be a rush video. It's not going to be a DIY this time. A lot of it I feel like is rushed. The last video was I was getting hyped, and then certain things happened, and then it just kind of turned into an ASMR video. So if you like those type of videos, let me know. Put it down in the comment. It's good to be back. I miss you guys. So all right now I'm just gonna get into it, and then like I'll like kind of go over everything that I'm doing. All right guys, so it is day 2 of this kind of a decent teardown. I don't know if I'm too close or not, but today's day 2 of this teardown. I was able to get the front subframe down so I can drop the oil pan. I was thinking about taking off, I wasn't thinking about taking off the power steering rack, but I might just do that so I can drop the subframe down a little bit more, and I'll pretty much show you where I'm at right now. Here, so here, as you can see, I have the subframe down. I did not disconnect it from the suspension at all. I just pretty much disconnected it from the engine mounts, the 3 points There's one here. There's another one right over there, and then all the way at the end, those are going to be like 18 millimeters. Sway bar have to be undone. This rack here, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure where this goes to, but I have a feeling this goes to the coolant reservoir. Like the bottom of it kind of looks that way. It goes to the coolant reservoir and then all the way back somewhere down there to maybe the block or something. But yeah, and hopefully I can get to the turbo. There's a decent amount of space. Let's see, yeah, there's a decent amount of space. So I mean, if honest, I might be able to take this thing down without having to take the power steering rack completely off, but I might just have to. But you can see how terrible this looks. I am going to have to take off the power steering pump. It's supposed to be 3, like one, 2, and I think there's one in the back. That might be it right there. I'm not 100% sure. That might be it. And then, yeah, so this, I'm gonna take this down completely. There's like one there, and there's another one there. The nut on top is a 16 millimeter. I don't know what this is in terms of like e-torques. I'm using a like a 12 point to take that off. Those do actually work. You just have to be careful with them. Don't use like a power tool to immediately take them off, break them off with like a what you call it, like a ratchet or something. So I don't think got anything crazy going on. Oh, but I am also going to, I don't know if you can see that hose. This hose right here goes from the thermostat to the block. Which you can't see the thermostat because the water pump is blocking it right now. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work. I'm babbling too much. Alright guys, so I was able to take the oil pan off, and this is the underside of the engine, pretty much the bottom end. This here is the oil sump pickup. All the way over there you have the oil pump right there. So we are going to have to take that oil pump off and then take off the oil sump pickup in order to get to the rod bearings. You can see one of the rod bearings there. Might as well just do them while this is completely off. Alright guys, so we have the oil pan there, and that's pretty much what's stopping me from doing the rod bearings. The reason why is because you need to replace all of the bolts that you take off, and I don't have those. Did not cross my mind to replace or to get any replacement bolts, so I'm just not even going to just risk it by taking those out, because those are stretched bolts and one-time use only. As the same for the oil pan gasket bolts, you need to replace those every single time. What I am going to do, I'm going to see if I can just finish cleaning that up, because I was looking at everything and I was like, wait, I completely forgot to get those bolts. So good thing I didn't take anything else off. I'm going to clean the area because you guys know I don't like dirty engines. And then as cold as it is, I am going to try and take the turbo out. Alright guys, so we are back again. I did finish up the oil pan, torqued all of those back up to 8 Newton meters, and then of course the 90 degree turn, and then you have like the tall ones or long ones in the back. Those are 8 Newton meters, and then also you have 180 degree turn, and then you also have the bolts that connect to the transmission. Don't forget those. I feel like nobody really talks about those, so those have to be connected as well. And I kind of just did, you know, the 8 Newton meters and then like the 90, and then the 90 degree for those. So right now I am keeping, I'll swap. Right now I am keeping the subframe down because we do need to replace that turbo. If you guys do remember from a previous video, that turbo was shredded completely. Alright guys, so I think now would be a good time for a good update. As you can see, I did take off the intercooler and the front bumper clearly. I got the tarp all set up. I'll show you guys that later. So I disconnected the mid pipe with the down pipe here, and then I took off the I took off the brace or bracket that's attached to the engine mount as well. As you guys can see, I have the oil pan all fitted up, which is all nice and clean. There's still a little bit of residue of oil seeping from the gasket itself. I did put a little bit too much oil on the gasket itself, so when I tightened it up, it started to seep out, and some of it kind of dripped, but that's all dried up. But right now, you can see the beautiful downpipe, which is from VRSF. Sweet. That is the old destroyed turbo that I'm going to be taking off. Just looking at it now, I believe that is a coolant line coming from, I actually don't know where that, I think that goes towards the let's see, I think that goes towards the water pump. Yeah, if you can see that line, it carries all the way over, and then it's going towards the water pump there, and then thermostat is up in the front. Good thing we don't really have to worry about the water pump. What we do have to do is take off these brackets there. We do have to take that coolant line off, and then right up top, I already kind of loosened them. You guys can't see. Let's see if I can see one of them. There's going to be right where the exhaust manifold is. You can't see it, but there's 1, 2, and there's like a few more. Sorry for the wobbliness. There's a few more exhaust manifold bolts that have to come off as well. So I'm gonna take those off. I just disconnected the O2 sensors instead of just, you know, taking it off of there. I don't want to mess with the exhaust portion of it. I am going to take off that V-band, and yeah, this seems like it's going pretty well, so I'm really happy. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take this off, and then we'll get to the rest of it. So my camera seems to not be working anymore. I mean, it is an old model, but I think it just ran its course now. So now I'm going to have to be using my phone. I mean, oh well, it is what it is, I guess. Till I knew one. Anyways, I finally got the old turbo out, and that was a pain. I literally had to lube that thing up right there and just beat it with a hammer, but I used a block so that it doesn't damage anything. So here is the old turbo, the new turbo, and as you can see, just by looking at it, you can see the diameter is much smaller in there than it is inside there. The wheel is clearly much bigger, so we're gonna have some fun. Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you where I got so far. The turbo is now mounted. Again, that new one, I didn't put the bolt in so that I can make adjustments while I put it in. Right now, I'm actually rushing because I have to go to work maybe within the hour or in the next hour or so. So I'm gonna try and get it mocked up because I am trying to drive it as soon as I can. Alright guys, so we are underneath the car. So I ended up not replacing the studs just because I realized I didn't have a e-socket small enough to take it out. So when I do another upgrade, turbo upgrade, maybe like a stage 2 further down the line, I will just reuse those. Not reuse those, use the ones that I already bought and just replace those, and make sure I get a new e-socket. But technically, so also you are going to need to make sure that you, so gonna get nasty stuff in there. You're gonna need to make sure that you get your exhaust gaskets. Those are very important. You can tell I kind of wiped it off, but there's a little bit of an exhaust leak there. You want to make sure you get those. I did not put it on here. As you can see, I put it onto the manifold itself. That seemed to be a better fitment than just trying to stick it inside there, because it'll just pop right out when you try. So yeah, I'm going to try and mock it up. It is best to mock it up with like another person so they can hold the other side. And within this case, since I got the subframe down, to kind of probably try and pull the subframe forward. Honestly, I don't know how you guys do it without the subframe down. I'm sure it's much easier. I mean, it's much easier to do it this way. You can also take the whole damn thing out from the front. You just have to take the water pump and thermostat out, and then you'll be good. And of course you have to, you know, move some of those hoses off. Of course the coolant reservoir would have to come off as well. So just keep that in mind if you are going to take it out from the top. I should have taken it out from the top just to show you guys how that's done, because I did that for the E46 as well. The M Sport 35 over there, another N55 I'm gonna have to deal with, but that's another time. Honestly, I might bring that one to a specialty shop. But yeah, it's gonna be cool, nice and cool. As you can see, there's a little goobity gob going down here, some water, because you know it's a little open up there. But I was told that you are gonna have to keep cleaning this, making sure it's clean, even though there is a little bit of seepage. It's not really a big deal. That is a additive that I put inside there. It's kind of seeping out a little bit, but so hopefully that it should be still good and sealed. The rear mainsail might have to be replaced, but that'll be when I do a clutch job. So yeah, we'll get to that. All right, so just like that, the turbo is in. I just want to say, 'cause that one right there, oh, it's tight, because you got the manifold right there, and then you have this water hose. That's gonna be hard. So what I had to do is literally use my fingers and kind of go like this. I almost broke my fingers a couple times, but you know, it's all right. So that one's gonna be really hard to do. If I have skinny fingers, so it's a little bit more easier for me. If you have thick fingers, I suggest you use, I don't even know. I guess you can use like a needle nose pliers to get it, you know, get it on there, and then try and twist it as you like, little by little. That's the only way you can get it on there. If you got one thread on there, perfect. You can get like a 11mm to I'll say open socket, very slowly and carefully. Just keep going at it. Do not rush it, because then you know it's gonna fall and you have to just start the whole process again. I'm not gonna put any of the hoses in right now. I want to make sure that I get all of these set up